Not one. Not two. Not three. Not 8. Not 367. But the Fifth Mascot is on the air, live and direct from the bowels of WCPO.com. Along with Mike Canan, along with Mr. Satin, I'm Ken Broo. Let's rock and roll, boys, because I got good news, baby. I got good news. There's good news today.
Good news.
There's rocking and rolling good news today.
It's great news.
And it's wrapped up in the form of the Toms River Flash. You ever been to Toms River, New Jersey? It's wonderful. They got a restaurant there named Captain Courageous that serves the best seafood this side of the New York City border. Now, I don't know if it's still there. It was there 40 years ago. But it was really, really good stuff. I mean, the kind of stuff where, like, if they took a piece of fish right out of the ocean, threw it on a flame, and it got right to your plate, it just tasted fresh. Yeah. And when I talk about fresh fish, I talk about fresh copy, and it's Todd Frazier, National League Player of the Week, 18 something last week, 7 of others, and then 27, and then look at that slugging percentage.
It's nice.
That's pretty darn good.
Captain's back.
Captain's back. I'm up on the balls of my feet on this one, Mike. What about you?
He's playing great. I mean, if you look at the numbers, he's actually got the second highest wins above replacement of any third baseman in baseball, second only to Josh Donaldson. Wow. So he's actually got a higher wins above replacement as a third baseman in the National League than Matt Carpenter or Nolan Arenado. That's not the way the fan voting for the All-Star game is going, but I mean, he's definitely become the offensive leader of this team.
And now he's going to be traded to the Mets.
Oh, no.
Because there's like a half dozen stories today that the Mets want him to replace David Wright.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Come on.
Who's not even like gone forever. He's just gone for a while.
Yeah.
So. Do the Mets got anything we want or could use?
Ron Swoboda.
The Mets have some
knuckleballers up there.
The Mets have some good young pitching, but most of it is at the major league level already, and I doubt they would part with it for Frazier.
And I don't think Todd Frazier is going anywhere because I just think he's cost certain and he's a great ball player and he's one of the guys that they like here. And why would you trade? I mean, you got to trade something to get something, but you don't trade him.
Garbage. We don't want garbage. There's nothing.
Got enough of that around
here. Let's move. There's somebody else. Come on, take somebody else. Not Frazier. This guy's. He's in the community. He's the shining star we got. I can't see us getting rid of him.
4 home runs and 7 RBI last week. I mean, come on. I mean, over and above what he's done last week, I mean, he's kind of like, I think, a fan favorite. I think people go to the ballpark to see him. He's one of those players that I think they go to see.
He's fiery. And the other thing, too, about Frazier is, he had a great week last week that had him really up high, flying high on everyone's radar screen. But he's actually been the one guy who seems like has actually been consistent throughout the year. I mean, Votto started off really hot, and then he went about 3 weeks where he couldn't hit anything, and now he's heating up again, and he's playing really well. But he hasn't been consistent. Phillips has been consistent, but no power, consistently hitting singles, basically. And then, Bruce and Bird have been all over the map. But Frazier has been consistently solid.
Why would he not be among the... Here's the thing, and this is what I don't understand. Why would he not be among the leaders in vote getting among third basemen in the National League? I don't think he qualifies to start at third base, but I mean, I think this guy should be like second or third at least.
I think All-Star game voting is always about a year behind. People go on reputation. I mean, Barry Larkin was the best shortstop for many years, but he didn't get elected because Ozzie Smith had the pub and everything like that. And he's played well. He had that hot first couple weeks, but then he went in the tank for if you're talking about recent, a lot of votes were cast a month and a half ago, and he was hitting terribly at that point. But I think mainly it's reputation, and it's what you did last year and maybe the year before, and people aren't, when they give them those, when they go online to vote, they're not calling up the stat page. They're just going, I remember that guy, I remember that guy. And they don't remember the last week. That most people don't, other than Cincinnati, don't know who was the National League Player of the Week.
Are you getting sick or just losing your voice?
I need to get a little verklempt.
Or getting old.
He's probably screaming at his TV last night.
But even last year he showed up amazing at the Home Run Derby. I mean, I think people know who he is.
Yeah.
And he's like the guy who has the voice of this club.
Right.
If anybody's got anything to say, it's been him this year. So, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those guys, in New York or on the coast, just hitting you can vote 30 times a day or something like that.
And
that's just outvoting that. I don't know.
Didn't they change voting this year? You can't vote fill in the cards.
There's no longer the punch card that's been outlawed. It's all online all the time. I think
But you can vote like 35 times.
I think
or
it's
something?
I think it's 25 times. Yeah.
But that's like a day, though, right? I mean, you can vote as much as you want.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
I don't
25
think
times,
people
That's
go home.
insane.
But do people go home and say, hey, now, you know, Martha, that was some great pie. Let's go vote for the All-Star game. I think when you're at the game, baseball's in your consciousness, and you're voting that way.
Yeah, I always like doing the punch card, but I'm also not a purist that's like, oh my God, the punch card is gone. So,
Right.
But I mean, I'm also not the kind of person who's like, you know, I like Todd Frazier, but I'm not going to go vote 25 times online.
You know what we could do, though, is we
I
could
have a
tap
life.
in.
If they
We
were
could
first
tap
place-
into like the
if they were first
Brandery or
place,
something
you
like
might.
that. Get some kid programmer to build us some bot.
Like
that's
a
gonna-
worm.
Yeah,
Get
build
a
us some
worm in
bot
there.
to just, you know, get Frazier on there. You know what I mean? That's possible. I
Yeah.
know there's kids
We'll
out there
get-
that have the talent.
Right.
We'll get Brian on it. He's our tech.
Ryan.
Yeah, he'll have an app that you can just call it up and it'll vote for the Reds 25
But I would
times.
actually
need that.
argue, Ken, I think you said you don't think he necessarily should be a starter. I think he should be a starter. I mean, based on the wins above replacement, he's a better player than Carpenter is right now. And Arenado is probably better on defense.
know, he had 2 errors last
Carpenter
night,
is
didn't he?
better on offense.
Or 2 nights ago.
But Frazier is the best combination
Combination of both.
I think Carpenter is a better player. I just do.
Why would you say that?
Because the Cardinals go with Carpenter.
No, I need some factual backup to this.
He likes those
on.
bare,
Not just-
he likes those bare
Not
knuckles.
just some feeling.
He's a great hitter. He's clutch. I mean, Frazier's not what I would call a clutch hitter. You know, I don't think I watch him. He's struck out. He, you know, what bases. Carpenter, if the guy on base and 2 outs, Carpenter's the one getting a hit. Wouldn't you rather have Carpenter up over Frazier with 2 outs and a guy on?
D-Trent
I
has a
would.
question, has an answer. Yes, Brian.
Todd Frazier is my dad's favorite Reds player.
Well, that's it. He's on the
That's a
All-Star.
fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
because his walkout music is Frank Sinatra.
There you go.
Right.
All right.
You can't beat
I
that.
mean, that's classic.
My
yeah.
oldest son, every time he hears Frazier's walk-up music, is like, oh, God, he has the worst walk-up song ever.
But does this prove that Cardinal fans are better baseball fans than Reds fans? Because
Well,
they're obviously,
their
after they
team
have
wins.
their apple pie, they're going to the computer.
Their team
I'm never
wins.
voting.
If the Reds would have won the World Series in like whatever it was, 2006 and 2010 or something, we'd have better fans and more people at the ballpark. If we were 35-17 right now, we'd have more fans at the ballpark, and there would be people voting over and over and over for Todd Frazier. I mean, when you win, your fans are better fans, and they've been winning consistently longer than the Reds.
So you're saying it's because of the atrophy that this franchise went into for 15 or 20 years. That's the reason why St. Louis is now a better baseball town? Are you saying that St. Louis is a better baseball town?
I think a city with a winning team, which St. Louis has had for 10 or 15 years now, and the Reds have had, we had one for 3 years a few years ago, that you get better fans. In 1974, 5, and 6, and 7, the Reds were a great baseball town because we were always in the playoffs. We were challenging for the World Series. Lately, the fans are apathetic. There's no place, you know, people say St. Louis is a good baseball town. They've had bad years historically in my life, and when they do, they don't have fans showing up at the ballpark. It's when you win. Or, you know, or if you're the Yankees.
Or you hand out a
Plus,
bobblehead.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
See, the bobbleheads. See, that's the thing. So many bobbleheads you can give out. One thing, you know.
What are you talking about?
What are you
I tell
talking
you what.
about?
I tell you what. I hate the
Mike
Cardinals.
Lacoste bobblehead night is
Yeah.
next Wednesday.
Yeah. Sweet. I'm there. You know, I hate the Cardinals, but you know what they've done with the stadium and the interactive experience for people to go down there. Maybe they don't even go to the game. They watch it on the big jumbotron, having some beers right outside. I mean, you can't beat that. But I will never vote for a Cardinal for the All-Star. Is there a way that we can vote against them? Like we can knock off some votes? That's what I would like to see too.
No, I just know this. Unlike
Do that.
Matt Lucan, I think Cincinnati is a much better baseball town than St. Louis. I don't think winning or losing has a damn thing to do with it. I mean, if you want to, I mean,
I'll second that.
you know what?